Welcome to today's live stream. Happy Thursday. Yes, I'm live everywhere. Hello. Welcome. I'm going to apologize up front. You guys are literally the first people that I have spoken to all morning. So if my voice is it's actually not sounding too bad now that I hear it. But yeah, I always think that whenever I come live first thing in the morning, I don't use my voice at all until I go live. So if it's all croaky, that is the reason. My apologies. Also, if you're wondering what's going on with my hair, I have it pinned back because I am sick and tired of styling it and I just couldn't be bothered this morning. Anyway, so that's news with me. Welcome to today's live stream. Happy Thursday. The weekend is coming. How exciting. Hope you have fun plans. Today we're going to talk about when should you approach a psychologist. Excuse me. This topic is near and dear to my heart because we'll get to that in a second. But before I jump into it, if you are watching on YouTube, just because this is going live in a few different places. So if you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe. And then if you hit the bell icon, it means that you'll get notified the next time I go live. Oh, hang on, I've just had something pop up in front of me. Sorry about that. It's being really laggy today. Yeah, so I try to go live Tuesdays and Thursdays, but if for whatever reason I can't do it Tuesday, I'll do it Wednesday. So anyway, if you hit the bell, that means you'll get notified. So yeah, and if you're watching on Facebook or on my website or wherever else this video appears, keep doing that if you feel like it. It's up to you. The reason why you would want to do that in the first place, subscribe and follow along, is if you're a Christian woman who's struggling with your mental health, or you just feel maybe you don't have a diagnosis of anxiety or depression or something, but you just feel like you're in bondage to your mind. You're struggling to get out of bed every day. You're struggling to just do the basic tasks, and you're worried and you don't know what to do. I'm here for you. I really believe that God's called me to speak into this because that's exactly where I was. Even 5 years ago, I was a completely different person, completely in bondage, just a shell of a human, really. And I think the enemy used it, and he used it in my life, and he used it in so many other Christians' lives, just based on my own observation. He puts us in bondage to our minds, to our mental health, or our emotions, or whatever it might be, to freeze us and to stop us from being able to fulfill the calling that God's placed on our lives, because we're all here to serve the kingdom in whatever capacity God's called us individually to do that. I was talking about this on Tuesday, so go watch that video if you're interested. But we have callings in our lives, and I think one of the enemy's favorite ways to paralyze us is to just have it so difficult, mentally speaking, to even get out of bed and to even just do the basic tasks. So you feel like the greater purpose of your life is just too big of a thing to even worry about. You're struggling to even do the basic things. So if that sounds like you, I was there. God freed me from it. And I really believe that God's called me now to speak to that, to encourage other Christian women to free themselves up as well. So that's why you would want to follow along. But today we're talking about one of my favorite practical things that we can do for our mental health, which is to see a psychologist, or get therapy, or whatever you want to call it. I saw a psychologist, so that's what I always talk about. So there's a blog post that goes with this. If you're watching on YouTube, the link is in the description. If you're watching on Facebook, I'll chuck a link in the comments. I try not to put links in the description because it stops this video from going out to where it needs to go. So, but I'll put a link in the comments. If not, if I forget for whatever reason, just check my profile and you'll see a link to my website, just webloomwithkiara.com, and you'll see the blog post on there. So yes, but I have notes in front of me because I'm following along with the blog post. So 3 signs that if you're experiencing these 3 things that I'm going to go into, it's probably a good idea for you to think about seeing a psychologist. For me, I didn't see one for a very long time. I probably should have seen one in my teenage years, honestly, definitely in my early 20s. I didn't see a psychologist until my mid-20s. I go deeply into that story in the private community. So if you want to hear the whole the whole story of how I started to see a psychologist. I go into that in the private community. It started with like a mental health breakdown. So if you want to hear all of that, go in there. It's completely free. It's just a way for me to share my story on a deeper level. So 3 signs. Sign number 1, when you're feeling overwhelmed by stress and anxiety. So this is particularly if it's like a constant in your life, if you're constantly stressed, if you're constantly anxious. Some things you could be experiencing is you're feeling on edge, you're feeling restless, you can't enjoy things that you once loved. If that sounds like you, then it's probably time to start thinking about getting some professional help. Sign number 2, when sadness or hopelessness feels heavy. So again, is this a constant feeling? Are you feeling constantly sad and you can't shake it and you don't know where it's coming from? If you're feeling hopeless in particular, this is definitely a bit of a sign of depression. This is something I went through and I can totally relate to you, and I can promise you, you can be free of it because I'm free of it. So if you're feeling sad, hopeless, emotionally numb, and when simple tasks seem impossible, which is kind of what I was talking about earlier, that's a sign. I would definitely get professional help. And then sign number 3, when trauma or past pain feels unresolved. Sometimes we're actually blind to how much our past trauma is affecting our daily life. Our family members will notice, our close friends will notice, but to us, we're just like, oh, that's just normal. This is just the way that we normally live, but it's not. It's past trauma and it's unresolved issues that we need to deal with. And when you deal with them, it frees you up so much. So that's definitely, what else have I got here? This is a complicated one, so it definitely needs professional help. There's a reason why psychologists go through in-depth study to be able to help us, because some of this stuff is hard to resolve. So definitely get professional help if you're dealing with past trauma that you can't get past, or unresolved issues and emotions and things. That's all I had to share. I feel like this is a, what's the word? What am I trying to say? Anyway, I feel like this is the shortest that I've been. It's really early in the morning. It's 7:20, so my brain hasn't woken up yet. Anyway, I feel like this is the shortest we've ever been. I'm pretty proud of this. It's 7 minutes in. So we're done. Go read the blog post for more information. If you want to, as I said before, if you want to hear more of my experience, so I in the deep dive, I went into, it's only 15 minutes long, but I went into how I first finally plucked up the courage to see a psychologist. It was not even my choice. I was forced to. And then my experience in it. So what the first appointment was like, then, ongoing, what we talked about, what we went through, how it healed me. So if you want to hear that, go into the private community. The link is in the description if you're on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, I'll chuck a link in the comments section. So click that link and you can jump into the free private community. I'm not asking you for money. I just want to help you on a deeper level. So that's where we can be a little bit more intimate and a bit more, I can share more openly some of the things I've been through. So that's all I had to share. Thank you for listening. And I will see you. Oh, I'm going live in the private community tomorrow for another deep dive. So if you're in there, I will see